Okay, so hello everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. So here today, I'm also came up again with a new video with an API, with an API project, a BCI task manager. You can say to do app project with applying authentication, basic here is token authentication. Okay, so let's get started. So here first, I've created a project directory. You can say the task manager is my main project directory. Is my main project directory. Okay, let me show it from the folder as well. So this is my main project directory task manager, and when you get into this, you can see the main project folder, task manager, and the app task, and the manager file requirements.txt, where all the requirements, all the dependencies are stored, and the database. I've used the Django's default DB SQLite database here. Okay, so let's get started. So this is my task manager project folder. Okay, so inside here, first we'll have to create an application. Okay, and what the command of creating an application? It's like the simple python manage.py start app and the desired app name, anything you can want. Suppose here I've created already an app named task, so I'm not creating another app, so you can give any name. Suppose to do is to do, and you can see in the left side the command in the VS Code editor, there's a to-do app has been already created. See, the to-do app has been created. Okay, and after creating this app, we have to mention the app in the project directories installed apps section. Here we have to mention that. Here I will mention the task app. Okay, so as we have created a new app to do, so same just like the task app, we have to mention the app such as like inside the double quotation and or single quote or double quote, anything, and then to do and then comma. Okay, here that's how we'll configure or install apps inside a Django project, or you can say connect our app with the Django project directory. Okay, so for now I'm deleting the app because I've already created an app. So let me just comment out this and just delete the app. I mean, it's not issue actually. If you want to leave it here like it is like a to do app, it's not an issue. But still, I'm deleting it for the clean interface. Okay, so after installing the to do app, okay, a task app. Okay, I have to write a model. And what is model? In Django, model is basically you can say it works as like a mapping tool that maps this model class, this fields, this user field, title field, destination field with a database schema using Django's built-in ORM feature. Okay, so here in the model, see, so here I'm creating a basic 2D application. So I'm not creating the front end. Here I'm just creating the API portion. So I'm just explaining the API portion. Okay. The next video I'll be adding the front end portion as well, and I'll explain it as well. Okay. So here you can see first I have created a dictionary of tuples. Okay. Here you can see I've created a dictionary called priority choices, and here I've mentioned the names such as I mean the task priority, such is it low priority, is it medium priority or high priority. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm getting sorry, I'm back again. Okay, so here where was I? Okay, so here as you can see I've created a list. Okay, a priority choices list, and inside the list I've created some tuples. Okay, and here let me describe what this tuple means. These are two values inside a tuple. Okay, and the first element, this uh, small letters, small l low, this will this value will actually show in the database, and this will be in the user friendly. I mean the user interface, the user will see the value low, but in the database it will store as the low. This low element will store in the database, and this low will be showing in the, you can say, in the admin panel, or you can say, okay, I mean the admin and the Django admin panel, you can see that this low will show, and in the database this low will store. And then the same, I've created another list of tuples here. The pending and pending, it means the status choices when the work progress, is it in the pending progress, is it in progress, or is it done the work. Okay, and then I've created a class. A class is task, named task, and inside it I've mentioned some field, the user field. Okay, and here I've used a foreign key concept. Why foreign key concept? So that by using the foreign key concept, we can get the user based task details by using the APIs get APIs the get request method. Okay, that's why, I mean, in the database, or you can say in simple language, inside the database, using this foreign key concept, we can connect the each user's task, or even the each user, suppose one user has been assigned a task, another user is assigned a task. Okay, but that user should have some details, right? The user, suppose the user should have an user ID, the user should have an username, ID, password, everything. Okay, and by using the foreign key concept, we can connect, we can get the specific user details from the task table priority, suppose the task list, by using this foreign key concept. Okay, and here I mentioned some fields such as uh, foreign key and the user, the title field. Okay, the title field should be max length won't be more than 200. Okay, and then the description field, and then the status field. In this, okay, so in the status field, you can say I have called the this status choices inside the status field. As you can see, the choices inside this choices tuple, inside this tuple, inside this tuple, I have called the status choices list. Okay, and from here we can see that each user's task either is in on pending status or and the priority status. Okay, same as the priority status, as you can see, we call the list here, the list of tuples here, the priority choices, and the default will be medium and all. And then and then the created at, where we can see that when the user has been created a task, or when user is assigned a task. Okay, and then we've created a basic dunder function here to get the values of the task or the user's task. Okay, and that return silver title, and after that we will go to the serializer. So we created the model there. Okay, and then in the serializer part. Okay, in the serializer part. Okay, see, we have imported we have to first import the model here, the model, and the rest of serializer here, import, and the auth models, so that we can import the user here, because we're working with the user here, because we're using token based authentication in the API. So that's why we have to import the user as well. And here we have created another class named task serializer, and inside the serializer we mentioned this serializers.model serializers parameters. We pass the parameters, and then we call the users, and inside the user, in the user, you can see we get the user variable here, and you can see the call the user, and inside the user we have stored the stored the current user data as the primary key. As I mentioned before, using the user, we will be the user will be the primary key in the serializer, but when we'll be getting or the filtering the data through an API, we will be calling, we will be calling the user, we will be calling the task by their ID, and also and from there we can get the user name as well, or the user ID as well. That's why we mention the user primary key field here, and then inside the class meta we have called the task here, and the fields, which fields will be shown and which fields can be editable or will be the creatable, and the post method, the ID, and the task ID, and the user, and the title, the description, the status, everything. Okay, and then and then this portion is very crucial, this this function, this create function. Okay, here we have passed two parameters, self and validated data. And inside this validated data, why we have created this field? Just because only the user only the task owner, the way they created the task, okay, they will be able to modify the task. Okay, they will be able to modify the task. So that's why inside the validate data we have passed a parameter called a user, so that the API will automatically validate with the logged in user. I mean that each user should have an username password. Okay, and by using this validate data, by using the validate data method, we can specifically, not specifically, we can say the API will automatically set the user to the current logged in user. Okay, I mean the only the user who have logged in, or the user, the task owner will be able to able to edit, or you can say modify the data. Okay, and after that, let's go to the views. So we've created our function, the API. Okay, so inside these, first we'll call the model. We have called for the task model, from the model, the serializer, task serializer, and the is authenticated from the fresh frame of permissions, and the filters, Django filter, and the Django filter module as well here, the Django module filter as well. And inside this, we've created two APIs, as you can see. One is task list create view, and second one is retrieve update delete. This will only for create, this will create a view for listening or creating task. Okay, so for the whole CRUD it means inside this, within this two class, we have created a whole CRUD operation. This class, or you can say this object will, inside this class only the task will get created, and inside this you can see the task retrieve means CRUD operation means create, retrieve, update, and delete. This will operate the retrieve, this will operate as an update, this will operate as an destroy view as well. Okay, here we have called the generics view, so that we can modify according to our requirements. Okay, so inside this task create view, you can see first we have to call the serializer, so that we can, I mean, by calling the serializer, we will be able to get the fields where we will put our data from the API. Okay, and inside the permission class, we have passed the permission as is authenticated. It means if the user is authenticated, and in the first, with the user first login using the API, inside the API post method, the user should have to pass their username password, and after upon posting the sending the username and password, the user will get a token, and using the token, the user then again create a new data, or you can say new task. And how will the API will know that if the user has a if the user is authenticated or not? For that, the user will have to put the token inside the here, inside this postman headers, and inside this headers, let me scroll down, and here, okay, I haven't posted that, right? I mean, I've already posted some data as well. So inside this here, user have to put, see, I've already logged in, that's why I've got a token here. You can see this token. So inside, so you have to put this token or to configure it like this. Here, click the authorization, and then inside this you have to mention that token space, and you have to just copy this and paste it here. That's all. That means the authorization has been completed. The user will get the permission that user is authenticated. Okay, and here we have used the Django's filter module, just because we use this filter module so that we can get, such as this get here, and the get here, you can see this body here, you can see in this get method as well, we have to put the token as well to get the task details here. I've already created few tasks here, you can see. Okay, so here using this filter, using this filter module, using this filter module, we will be able to filter as a search filter engine. We'll be able to enable by using this, such as we want to know if like which task has been completed in the prior. I mean, the status is done status. So that by using this filter, we'll be able to get the status of the work. Okay, is there is a done progress or not? It's in the filter, and inside the filter set fields, what we're filtering the status means either the stat is it the status is in done progress or is in progress status, and in the priority such as it's in the low priority, medium priority fields, and the search fields, uh, and inside the search fields we can also use the search fields. I mean, you can also such as suppose a user get task as a he has to complete, or he or she has to complete C programming language within 5 days, and the title should be C programming. Okay, by using this title field, we just use the title field such as title as C programming. You can also able to get the task details as well. The fetch the task details as well. And here I've passed the simple query set a function so that we can get all the tasks. So what does this function will do? This function will get the in the task dot object dot filter. It means the by using this query set we will be able to filter out the task from the filter of the task. If the I mean the by using the search filters we can get filter as well, and also we can get all the tasks from a specific user. That's why we pass the parameter self.request.user, such as for the specific user we can get, and for the each user what are the tasks the user has assigned, we can get their details by using this task.object.filter command. And this is the Django's ORM command. You can say this is the Django's ORM command. By using this ORM command, we will be able to get the task details of a user. And then this function is all basic. The task retrieve, create, update, destroy, view. Here we have also mentioned the class and the permission is authenticated or not. The API will check. And then again the object filter we have again mentioned here we have also written the same ORM command to get the all details, so that for the specific user details the user will enter the specific the details, and for the specific user we will able to update, such as the user will want to update this task priority status, or the status, or to change the status, suppose in progress to done status. By using this we'll get the uh, all the task details here as well. And then the most crucial, the authentication part, where we created the authentication here. For that we have to install two libraries. First one is Django REST framework, three actually. For the filters we have to install the Django filters module as well, and then we have to mention inside the installed app again, and the REST framework module for the API part, and the REST framework of token for getting a token. Okay, and then inside, and also we have to create and inside this, as you can see, we have created dictionary of list. And what have we written here inside the dictionary of list? We have mentioned the authentication class and permission class. So inside the authentication class we have passed the token authentication. Means it means you can see in the header section, as you can see in the JWT of 3%. Okay, header, payload and verification. Okay, header will store the authentication details, such as this authentication type is token authentication. Okay, and then the payload part, it will it will store the data, the user data, or the task details, and after that the verification or the signature part. Okay, where the API will check if the token is matching with the token or not, the provided token has matching with the user generated token or not. The permission class, or you can say here we have mentioned the permission class is authenticated. That's what we have mentioned here, that is authenticated is permission class. Only the is authenticated users will be able to create and will be able to perform the whole CRUD operation: create, retrieve, update, and delete upon a task. That's why you pass the authenticated permission here, and the authentication type is token authentication field here. Okay, and then the URL part comes, and here we have called the basic views, and we have created some root, each root for the specific view function. Here the task for task create, and the task and the rest of these retrieve, update, and destroy view. We've created another path C as the task integer primary key, and the primary key, and this primary key what will show by using this update function. By using this path, this URL, we'll be able to see the each task ID. I mean, the when such as in the Postman C, we've got the task ID and the user ID as well. For that, in my system, I've created only one user. That's why it's showing the only one user, because only me, I've created some task. So if there is another user such as created some task, okay, then the user ID will be 2, and upon using the get command, we will able to get all the user IDs upon task. It means the user 2, user 3, and all the users has been registered in the system will be system there. Along with this ID, will be able to their created task. Okay, so here by using this field, such as this task is for the specific task root. Okay, and then this ID, and inside and in this section we will put the ID for a specific task, for the task 1, task 2, or task 3, like that. Okay, so the filtering out the specific task ID, and we will be able to update the ID, update the task. Okay, and then we have to add this URL to the main project base URL. Okay, for that, here here you can see I have name the path as route as API, the URL as API, and they include the task URLs. And this is the main crucial path for getting a token here. This API auto, you can named it whatever you want. I've named it as API hyphen token hyphen auth, and this will obtain authentication. And this obtain auth token, this Django's pre-built framework auth token view. We don't have to write it. As you can see, this is a Django's REST framework auth token views. Let me show you this as well. Just control and click and see. This is the Django's inbuilt return auth token. Whenever you install the REST framework, this will be we will be able to use this as well. Okay, inside this the auth token has been written. This code where we will be able to get the auth token, the permission classes, this parser classes, render classes, serializer classes, auth token serializer classes. Okay, and yeah, by using this route we'll be able to get the authentication token for a specific user. Okay, so here as you can see, I've created already the get post. For the C, the route is for get is task, and for post, see the type is API slash API auth, API token auth. And for the put details as well, see this field, this one is for the specific task ID. This one, that's what I mentioned here. In this field section, we will mention the uh, specific task ID to update the task. Okay, and here see my old task name was updated. Task title is API. Okay, the task ID is one, and and if I want, and I have updated the task title here to updated task title, and the status from in progress to done progress. See the done progress, and in the old section is in the in progress status. Okay, is I mean I haven't refreshed it. Let me refresh it and it will show it here as well. And this get, and okay, okay, we haven't run our server yet. First we have to run our server, sorry. So for that we have to use the command python manage dot py and run server, and just wait for a bit and see the server is running right now, so we can just let's send the get request. See, created task title on this port, task title, and status is done here, and status is done here. Okay, so in API basically there are many methods. See, many methods, but mostly the common methods that we use is this five methods. This most of the five: the get, post, put, patch, and delete. Get is to retrieve or the to get the task details. Post is to create new task, and put is to partially update some tasks. Such as here you can see I partially updated the task details. Here only the title and the status, done status. This is what the post does for partially update a task details, and patch is to entire to completely update tasks. Such as we want to update the task ID, the description, the status, the priority, everything. And delete is to, as you know, for deleting a start task as well. So that's all for today actually. That's all for today. Is the whole complete task manager API project, or you can say to do only the API part as well. In the next video I'll be coming up with the front end part as well, using the Ajax based CRUD operation inside this project as well. Thank you.